start by acknowledging the chair and the leader of our university now, the chair of TMC, Professor Paloma Mohammed, and one of the university leaders on seat, Dr. Jacqueline Murray, DVC Pi, and all the protocols have been duly observed, and I want to say thank you to Madam Moderator. Now, when he said the name of my faculty, I started saying, maybe she's going to give me 3 minutes, or she's going to give me 2 minutes. Anyway, she said, I have up to 10 minutes. So I'm free to talk. Now, when I got this topic, a lot of things started going through my mind, and I started putting some words together. However, some of the things I put down, the minister that came delivered an academic paper. I said, and I've been reading academic papers. And the people on ground, on the table here, they started tearing some of the things I jotted down. Now, let me say this. 3 questions came to my mind when I saw this topic. Cooling down. And funny enough, about a week ago, about 1 week plus ago, the AC in my car stopped working. And that is when I appreciated the importance of the AC in the car, especially during this kind of weather. So how am I going to cool down? Second thing, said replacing harmful gases in the air conditioner. I asked myself a question in one of our national languages in Nigeria. Say, you put on there. That is, who put the harmful substances there? Oh, the next thing is, how are we going to remove it? That will not be injurious to us. Now, I believe that we're going to have a lot of discussions on this. But there's something that I've realized, that whenever we're talking about climate change, greenhouse gases, a lot of these things, on many occasions, it usually connotes a sense of negativity. So, but this topic made me to start reading more. About 3 days ago, on the 16th of September 2019, I read a report that many of our colleagues here has alluded to about the way the ozone layer has been healing up. If you permit me, let me just bring out some of these key points. The European Union's Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service, CAMS, regularly they've been monitoring the ozone layer in the Antarctica. And around August/September, that is when the opening used to be very strong. But last week, they used remote sensing to monitor it. Last week, and it was reported on the 16th. These are some of the key points they reported. That number one, that the ozone hole over Antarctica this year could be one of the smallest seen in the 3 decades. That's what they said. For the last 30 years, the first time they will see the smallest amount was this year. They also noticed that the hole is also off-center and far from the pole. So when it is at the center of the pole, that is where it becomes much more problematic to us. Now, they said a lot of things, which sounds positive. But the main key thing that this observation brought to my own consciousness and attention, which makes me to be happy about this discussion, is this. That is, if we can come to an agreement that we want to deal with this thing, we can get it done. Montreal Protocol that my colleagues have been making reference to was the first action that was taken to address CFC. And with the tackling of CFC by HCFC, we've seen some positive result of it. And the next thing is to tackle the HCFC. And I believe that we still go to see the positive result of this one, if we, the countries, can come in agreement. Now, there's a Kigali Protocol that we refer to ratify the Montreal Protocol. I said, wow, interesting. An agreement was reached in December 2016, am I right? I think in 2016, that was when the agreement was reached. Is it October 2016? October 2016, right, thank you. When the agreement was reached, before it could come to effect, we needed about 20 countries to sign to it. In 2018 December, that was when about 65 countries signed to it. About 2 days ago, when I went to check how many countries have signed, ratified this thing, there were 81 countries. And I started scrolling through, looking for dear Guyana. And I did not see us as one of the countries that ratified this. I said, why? I asked myself that question, why? Because, look, whenever there's any issue of climate change, or any issue at all, developing countries bear the brunt of many of these things. Who's supposed to be at the vanguard of climate for this? And I started asking myself, don't we know that when you are fighting battles is a politics of number, especially when you are dealing with developed countries? I was expecting one of us to. So my question, the question I was asking myself was, anyway, we're going to have this discussion. That we're going to have Ms. Shako and Grant. That was his details, but Ambassador has provided the reason for the delay. But I'm expecting us that we're going to ratify it as fast as possible because it will be of benefit to us. Now, in addition to ozone depletion potential of this HCFC that we'll be talking about, or CFC, we have the global warming potential of this form of harmful gases. Those are the things we'll be talking about. There are two other additional concepts, which I'm not sure whether you're aware of it or not, which we also need to put in our consideration. Number one is called total equivalent warming impacts. Warming impacts. And the second one is life cycle climate performance. And there are two types of it. Direct LCCP, which is related to refrigerants, the leakages from refrigerators, and the indirect one, which comprises the account of emissions from manufacturing, transportation, and operations of some of these things. So when we're thinking about how to make our own positive contribution to this, we support all of the protocols, all of the agreements to focus on mitigating ozone layer depletion, global warming issue, but there's still some other basic things that these other concepts have not been paid attention to. We need to pay attention to it. When we ratify the Kigali Agreement, all of this, what will happen to some of the cases that had these harmful substances? Who will be helping us dispose them of? And then in the ministries, in the parastatals, we buy materials whenever we want to buy AC. But whenever we buy things like this, we know some of the components, some of the gases that they are made up of. I think we need to put some programs in place to train our even purchasing officers that will be aware of some of the harmful gases and many countries that are producing them. Those are the topics and those are the things I believe that our country and as a nation will be looking forward into. There are two things I will say to round off my short introduction before we go into the deliberation. While the nation is trying to ratify this agreement, while the countries, manufacturing countries, I believe we are not the one manufacturing ACs, refrigerators here, but I believe some manufacturing countries in other countries where they are trying to address it. For us as a nation, what can we do? Or for us as individuals, what should we do? I believe that there's no problem that is not surmountable. There's no problem that cannot be solved. Before the introduction of these harmful gases, especially CFC, HCFC, and all of them, the first set of gases being used to cool down pre-1929 was something like sulfur dioxide. And those ones that affect human beings generally, so that we wanted to cool down, but it led to death, instant one, before one of the American scientists came up with CFC. And a lot of researches are being done for alternatives to HCFC, alternatives to CFC, and we're going to get it right. But before we get it right, I will just give a kind of general advice to the audience here and then to the people looking at, watching us online. If you go to Ozone Secretariat, there's a website, they give a lot of advice on what we need to do. For us as persons, we need to be taking extra precautions, especially to avoid our excessive exposure to sun. And when we're in outdoors, let us make provision for protective clothing, sunglasses, and pay attention to ultraviolet chart if you have it. The second thing is about our use of refrigerator, air conditioners, and other equipment. They will still become so much more dangerous when we have our refrigerator closer to our oven. So those are little things we can do. For those of us that have ACs in our cars, when we enter the car and we start the car like this, the first thing, it will be proper for us, wind down the glasses. As a matter of fact, not to put on the AC, try for a few minutes before, so that the fresh air will move here and there and before the AC is put on. So I believe that there are a lot of things we can do as individuals to try to see, to protect ourselves first, and then to see how we can make little contributions to the effect of this on us. And at the same time, I expect that as a nation, some of the guidance being given by most of these protocols and agreements, we should pay attention to it. But in all things, no matter how any challenge may be or that can face us, they can be faced. The first aspect of it is talking about it. The next aspect of it is taking action. Thank you very much.